All right, everybody, welcome back to the episodes of Muckin N Grindin. Thank God the NHL season is going to be kicking off here on the 13th. It starts off with the Pittsburgh Penguins at 5:30 versus the hated Philadelphia Flyers. The slate of games for that evening are Pittsburgh, Philly, 5:30, Montreal, Toronto at 7, Chicago, Tampa Bay at 8, Vancouver, Edmonton at 10, St. Louis at Colorado at 10:30. That's your slate of 5 games for the evening. It's not a bad start. Be just really excited to get hockey going in this 56-game schedule. One of the coolest things about this year's schedule is it's almost like a baseball schedule. With the Penguins playing the Flyers on the 13th, they will also be playing them on the 15th in Philadelphia. Excuse me. And then they'll be moving on from there. Don't have the schedule in front of me right now, but the most important part is that the Penguins-Flyers kick off the season. Penguins news, Kasperi Kapanen will be in Pittsburgh tomorrow. He will have to go through COVID protocol. He'll be out for 7 days. So he will probably miss the first 2 games of the season, possibly. Depending on how they want to play it. He had some visa issues that he had to take care of, but it's all good, all ready to go. He's missed pretty much all of training camp so far, which it's only been a couple days, which I'm pretty sure it's only 6 days that he's missed. So far, Tristan Jarry has looked amazing, posting back-to-back shutouts in the scrimmages. Casey DeSmith actually has looked equally as impressive. He's given up 4 goals so far. The first power play unit consisted of Letang, Crosby, Malkin, Gensel, and Rust. The second unit was Marino, Pedersen, McCann, Rodriguez, and Zucker. I don't mind that. I don't hate that second unit. Evan Rodriguez, though, might be the guy that I may swap out, let Jared McCann go ahead and play center on that second unit. And if the mammoth, as Evan Rodriguez says, the whole physical specimen of Radim Zahorna, the Czech elite player that they signed in the offseason, who is a center, he shoots left. He is 24 years old. He had in 21 games over in the Czech league just recently. He had 12 goals, 10 assists. He is a specimen. This kid he's a decent skater. He's really good with the puck, and he is 6'6" and 230 pounds. He is a monster. He is one of those guys that I would really love to see make the lineup just for sheer size. And seeing some of the scrimmage that the Penguins are live streaming on their site, on their Twitter page, on the website, everything. It's usually around lunchtime. You can click on their feed and watch the scrimmages. One little sad bit of news is that Mike Lang will not be joining the radio broadcast group until I'm not sure. It was just announced today that he will not be joining the group. I'm not sure if it's for the season or if it's until the COVID protocols are lifted because of his health issues and stuff like that. It's kind of sad because we're coming to an end of an era. The gentleman's already in the National Hockey League Hall of Fame. Everybody knows Mike Lang. Great broadcaster. Doc Emmerich, says that he's one of his idols. It's kind of a sad state of affairs. I mean, he has some health issues and stuff like that, but he's still one of the all-time greats. Everybody's going to be back. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Mears and Erie on TV and Phil Bork and Josh Getzoff on the radio broadcasts. You can get them on 105.9. And all but 6 or 7 of the Penguins games will be on AT&T Sports. The other ones will be on NBCSN. To start the season, I'm pretty sure that first game is on NBCSN because they are starting off the season. So that's where that starts. But let's go down the roster of the guys that are invited to camp right now. You got Anthony Angelo, Zach Aston Reese, Teddy Bluger, Crosby, Frederick Gaudreau. He's a wild card. I mean, he's one of those guys that could possibly make the roster. Most of you may know that name from his Nashville Predator days in 2016 when the Pens won the Cup. He was one of the guys who scored. I think he had 3 goals in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Penguins. I could be wrong. I know for a fact he had 2. He's a decent player. He's a good role-playing guy. Jake Gensel, Mark Jankowski. Jankowski most likely will make this roster out of camp. He was signed. He did play with Brandon Tanev in college. So there's some chemistry there. Sam Lafferty, he's most likely going to make the club, but he'd probably be a press box hero. Getty Malkin, maybe he may make the club. No, he's making the club. Jared McCann, Colton Sevier, and Radim Zahorna. Josh Curry, Kasperi Kapanen, Nathan Legare, Sam Medletic. Jordan Nolan has been a surprise so far through camp too, and then the coaches have loved what he's done. Jordan Nolan is the son of former head coach and former Pittsburgh Penguin Ted Nolan. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup winner with the Kings, and I want to say Blackhawks, I want to be sure. May be wrong on the Blackhawks part, but I know he won the Cup with the Los Angeles Kings. He's a good grip player. He's got good speed. He's a good penalty killer. Not exactly sure if he's going to be one of those guys who's, if somebody gets hurt, he may end up in the lineup. Drew O'Connor's one of their top prospects. Sam Poulin is their number 1 prospect. I would love to see him make the roster, but it's highly unlikely this season. With it being short. Evan Rodriguez has surprised everybody at camp. He's kind of like our utility knife guy right now. Can play all the positions, and they're looking forward to, what he can do. Brian Rust, Brandon Tanev, Jason Zucker. Defense, and this is where everybody seems to have a problem with, especially with this first guy that I'm going to name, is Cody Ceci. Everybody says, why did we get – everybody hated Jack Johnson. Cody Ceci just needed a change of venue, and I'm pretty sure, and same with another guy that I'm going to be bringing up here shortly. I think sometimes guys just need change of scenery. Plus, with the Penguins bringing back Coach Todd Reirden, he is a defensive guru. He does help out. The power play gets a lot of help from Todd Reirden. It's one of the coolest things that they did was bring him back to help that struggling power play out. The power play struggled last year massively. Brian Dumoulin, Kevin Cooksman, Pierre-Oliver Joseph. He may make the club, may not. Cam Lee is one of their other better defensive prospects. Chris Letang, Josh Maniscalco is a college free agent they signed in the offseason. He's got a lot of up space. Once Chris Letang possibly, and then a couple of years down the road, maybe which would really hurt if they traded Brian Dumoulin or they let Chris Letang walk after his contract's up after this season or next season. I may be wrong. It's been a while since I've actually looked. They're in good hands defensively with, a lot of young talent. Like John Marino just signed his extension at a team-friendly $4.4 million a season, which kicks in next year. That's amazingly team-friendly. John Marino is by far one of the best upcoming defensemen in the NHL. I mean, obviously behind Quinn Hughes, Cole Makar, Adam Fox. There's a few other guys, but he's in the top 5-6 among young defensemen. Marcus Pettersson, Juuso Riikola, Chad Ruhwedel, and Zach Trotman. Zach Trotman, He's just one of those guys. I think he's like a Chad Ruweedle. He's good for a couple games here and there, but other than that, Marcus Pettersson's still young. I mean, he's 24 years old. He became somewhat of a whipping boy, also kind of like he was like Jack Johnson light, we'll say. One of the biggest things this offseason, and there was a lot of ridicule over it, was the trading of Patrick Hornquist for Mike Matheson. Mike Matheson actually is a very, very good defenseman. He's got decent speed. He got decent hands. He was in a bad situation in Florida. Florida did not have a lot of great defensive talent. Aaron Ekblad, yes, and him. That's pretty much it for the first couple of years. He needed to change the scenery. He fell out of favor with the coach. He became the bottom third pair defenseman, he is not a bottom third pair defenseman. He needs the ice time. And being paired up most likely with Cody Ceci. I mean, your defensive pairs most likely are going to be Cody Ceci and Mike Matheson. It'll be Letang and Dumoulin and Pettersson and Marino. I don't like them paired together, but I mean it's kind of the only one that works. It's one of those things where you just kind of you bite your tongue and deal with it. Marcus Pettersson still needs a little bit of grooming. I think, like I said, with the bringing back of Todd Reardon, it will help his development and bring him further along. The goaltending, obviously, you're going to have Tristan Jarry manning the workload. Casey DeSmith is a very, very, very capable backup. I have no issues whatsoever with the backup of Casey DeSmith being there. Maxime Legacy is going to be your third defenseman, and Alex Dorio will most likely start at Wilkes-Barre Scranton. The rest of the NHL, Henrik Lundqvist will not be playing this season due to open heart surgery, which he just recovered. He's in recovery from now. Patrice Bergeron is named the Boston Bruins captain since Zdeno Chara moved on to Washington. Corey Crawford is going to take a leave of absence from the Devils. Looking at NHL.com right now, the Dallas, Florida opener is being postponed due to the virus. And then there's you have your top players, McDavid, Anderson, and the Maple Leafs contract extension. Matt Dumba wants to stay in Minnesota, even though most likely he will be traded. Connor Hellebuck wants a cup more than a Vezina trophy. Tuukka Rask has no intention of playing anywhere else. We're just going down some of the little things that are going on headline-wise in the NHL. Logan Couture also said that the Sharks could make the playoffs this year, but he thinks they can because he thinks they have a good enough team for it. Also, in another note, congratulations to the U.S. Team for winning the World Juniors, beating Canada 2-0. And a not so classy move when they took the team picture. They brought a garbage can out that had, sorry, but it is kind of funny, a picture of Team Canada, the logo for Team Canada on the garbage can, calling them trash, basically. There's better time and place for that. You showed it on the ice, that's fine, but try to keep a little more class. Some of the things we get to look for. Let's see. Let's try to find the divisions. Go over the divisions real quick. It's taking forever for it to load. Apologize for that. And while we're sitting here waiting for this to load, there's other things in player safety that have come up. Another high note is the NWHL will be broadcasting games on NBCSN. It's huge. It's huge for their league. Danny Ryland, who was the original commissioner of the league, she did a fantastic job. She's passed the torch on. I'm losing my patience with this computer here so far. Let's see if we can get this to load again. Try it again. That didn't work. All right. We'll try it this way. Cool thing would have been like one of the expansion teams that was awarded. I would have loved to have seen Pittsburgh get its own team because when they were here a few years ago, they did an all-star game and it was phenomenal. Their NWHL season will also focus on. They will have an all-women officiating squad that officiates their games. It's huge. Like the women's game is growing exponentially, and it's fantastic to watch. Not just because I have 3 daughters myself and they enjoy the sport of hockey, but it's just it's growing and growing and growing, and the speed of their game is it's a very interesting game, and it's fun to watch. I mean, it's constant back and forth, back and forth. And these girls can flat out fly, man. And they're very impressive to watch. But we're just more excited right now to see what goes on with the NHL, making sure all the teams stay healthy, stay positive. Let's not worry too much about. Hopefully, injuries do not become an issue. Things like that. I want to see the teams come through healthy. All the players go through healthy. Here we go. Finally comes up. The standings so far in Central Division, it's Tampa Bay, Chicago, Florida, Dallas, Detroit, Carolina, Nashville, and Columbus. The East, Philly, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Washington, New Jersey, Boston, Rangers, and Islanders. The North, it's all Canadian. It's Toronto, Montreal, Edmonton, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Ottawa. And good luck to Matt Murray up there in Ottawa, which actually Ottawa is one of those teams. Don't be surprised if they make a sneaky run and get that 4th seed in their division. Because Matt Murray's he's not great, but he's not bad. But Tim Stützle and their draft picks, and they signed a couple other guys. They got gritty role players and stuff like that. They may surprise a couple of people in actually how decent they are. In the West is Colorado, St. Louis, Arizona, San Jose, Vegas, Anaheim, Los Angeles, and Minnesota. Other news, the Vegas Golden Knights have signed one of my daughter's favorite players and one of my all-time favorite players. Derek Englund is now their head of it is their volunteer and special anything like the special that goes on in the community and everything like that, that is what Derek Englund is going to take care of. And the only person he answers to is the owner. That's it. He's right under the owner. Penguins news is former Penguin defenseman Trevor Daley is going to be part of the hockey operations. He will be helping out with front office moves and things like that. There's a few. The Penguins have their own podcast that they have on. There was an interview with him and Josh Getzoff. It was very interesting. His family did not want to leave Pittsburgh when he went and signed with Detroit a couple years ago. They were hoping to stay, and his family kind of did stay back. But then because they were kind of hoping that there would be an off-season job for him available, and there happened to be one. Jim Rutherford brought him back, which is a smart move because Trevor Daley's a classy guy. All-around good guy. You don't find too many of those anymore. The good guys seem to get lost in the shuffle sometimes. But hopefully, let's get this season rolling. Cannot wait for this season to start. And then once the season's really underway, we're going to have another episode on Friday nights, doing some recap, doing some, player evaluations, things like that. It's another quick little episode. Don't have much going on other than, the season starting and everything like that. So we will see you guys next Friday. We'll have another show, and that'll be it. And hey, be safe, everybody. Take care of each other. Wear your mask, wash your hands, keep your fingers out of your mouth. Take care, everybody. See you next Friday.